What's up, Destructoid? Hamza, Aziz here at the Crysis 3 event, and we just checked out the game. I'm here with the director of creative development, Rasmus. How's it going?
It's going fine, thank you.
Cool. So tell me a little about Crysis 3.
Crysis 3 is the next installment in the Crysis franchise. You play as Prophet, who is the guy that had presence in the previous installments as well, and both in Crysis 1 and Crysis 2. And the game is taken 20 years ahead after the end of the war of Crysis 2. Cell Industries has grown a lot more powerful. They erected these big nanodome structures over a number of cities, which has transformed these cities into these big urban rainforest settings because they use that, they leverage this rainforest to cleanse the cities from within, basically letting Mother Nature reclaim the cities and cleanse them from Ceph pollution that might exist. They're also using them as a perimeter to keep people out and keep Ceph in. And obviously they have some ulterior motives that gives them some nice peace and quiet to actually research and develop on Ceph technology and power, which will lead them to their ultimate goal, which is world domination through technology and weaponry. You as Prophet with your nanosuit and your successful merger of human and Ceph DNA also makes you very interesting for them. And you've been held incarcerated in this time period between the two games, but you managed to escape. And you've been obeying orders for a long period of time as a professional soldier, but it hasn't led to any good, so you decided to not do that anymore and take matters into your own hands. So in a nutshell, that is really what the game is about.
Cool, and let's talk about the weaponry. Like, the big thing we've been seeing with Crysis 3 is this super awesome high-tech bow and arrow.
Yeah, so that's one of the additions to the game. It's really fitting for the fiction and the character arc and the setting. I mean, we obviously needed, if we wanted to push the theme of you being a hunter, we needed to give you some equipment that pushed that, both from like visually and tonally, but also from a gameplay point of view. So we also broadened on the stealth mechanics a little bit. We made it possible for you to now fire this weapon while you're cloaked, which is new for the game and adds. So it's important to say though, we didn't make a stealth game. That's not the idea here. The idea was just to make the perception of being a hunter stronger. And the game is the weapon is also very versatile because it's able to fire a number of different type of arrowheads that range from very stealthy to very, very not stealthy. You saw like one of them today, the kind of frag grenade type warhead.
And there's some crazy like futuristic weapons as well.
Yeah.
With the aliens, right?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously these are developed differently because they're alien weaponry. Doesn't make them more futuristic, it just makes them on a different kind of technological level than what humans are able to do, which means that they when you fire them, they look and feel differently and they have different advantages than what a human weapon would have. They also play a little differently in the game because they are use and discard, so when they run empty you have to throw it away and grab a new one. But they add a cool new feel to the game, and the reason you can fire them now is because you have been basically so infused with Ceph technology now over time that your fingerprint kind of don't really read fully human anymore. So when you slot your arm into this weapon, it will interpret you as being Ceph, and that's why you can fire it, right?
Now, let's talk about the Cryengine 3. It's a beautiful engine. The game looks gorgeous. I'm curious what you guys are doing as far as the PC side.
So we're pushing on both ends of the spectrum, both for the high-end PC and for the consoles. I would say that our game is less reliant on technical capabilities this time around because of the setting, because of the visual tone and the mood of the game. You could remove a lot of the fancy render tech and still it would look great, but at the same time we're pushing as hard technologically as we possibly can anyways. We really want to leverage this pillar of Crytek being kind of the forerunner of real-time rendering technology, and it's still too early to say exactly what's going to be in the game because we have so much stuff going on. We have different variations of our engine in the studio that does different things, and we want to see how much stuff we can actually take over, but also what provides value and also what translates onto the consoles as well, because we want to make sure that that the experience of playing the game is not going to differ from platform to platform. Only maybe the fidelity of the visuals that you're gonna get will obviously be different, right? But we're exploring. Well, one thing I mentioned was the super fancy lens flare simulation we are making, and new vegetation type systems we're playing around with. Obviously, all the render features that you saw on the Crysis 2 GX11 patch. We'll see if it's possible for us to get stuff like area lights and things like that into the game as well. It's all in the end. It's all about what we can do performance-wise that isn't too crazy, right? So I mean, you need to be able to run the game, right? So, but we'll see. It's still early days to kind of say like we will put this in and not this.
Okay. What about Wii U as well?
Not a fat chance.
Not a fat chance at all.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be possible. Right now, the launch platforms are PC and Xbox and PS3, and I don't think it's in the cards to do a Wii U version of it.
Okay.
So.
And then, what about multiplayer, like previous games?
Yeah, we'll later on we'll talk about whether we're gonna do multiplayer or not. It's not something that we're revealing at this point. The only thing I can say though is we're not gonna have co-op gameplay in the single player or in the campaign of the game, but actual multiplayer we're not talking about now.
Okay. One of the new nanosuit abilities is hacking. Tell us a little about that.
So hacking, just like with the ability to fire alien weapons, is something that is really interesting for us because it ties into the fiction of the game and the story of Prophet, right? The way he develops, the fact that he's part Seth, part human. It's a feature where you saw a tiny snippet of it here, and it's going to scale. And the perception, the approach, that we're generally taking to these things is we want to add depth to new features rather than add a ton of new features, right? Because it just makes the experience richer, and it's gonna make you understand these features much better and how to utilize them in the kind of AAA gameplay formula. So whether we're adding new stuff on top of that or not is you'll just have to wait and see. But what I do want to mention is that the hacking feature is a pretty big deal in the game, and it scales above and beyond just hacking a turret, which was the example you saw today. Right?
Cool. All right, and Crysis 3 will be out
spring 2013.
Spring 2013. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Check out Destructoid.com for the debut trailer and for written preview by me.